Welcome to the PlapCast.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the PlapCast. I am Manda. I'm joined with my other host and talented scriptwriter, Brewy. Today, we're going behind the scenes with the amazing Neon Rose, who is a sound editor, scriptwriter, and a VA herself. Neon, thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Could you
Of
tell us a little
course.
about yourself and how you came to be in the community?
Yeah, so I am I'm in my late 30s. I live in the UK, and in terms of being in the community, I got involved with Quinn, and sort of audio erotica on this side of things. So beyond like smutty books, which I've listened to because I'm a big
Mhm.
audiobook nerd for
Yep, me too.
approximately a thousand years, and then from there I sort of transitioned into audio erotica, and from there I joined a place called the Quiven, which was a Discord server, which is kind of the original kind of fan
Yeah.
only Discord server, the OG. Shout out to the Quiven. No longer with us, unfortunately, because people be crazy.
Aw.
But yeah. From there, every time I tell this story, I remember how insane this is.
I'm so ready. I'm so
Okay,
ready.
okay. Oh my god. Telling this to someone new is always insane. Okay, so in the Quiven, the way it was set up, each VA had their own like channel.
Mhm.
And there were like general channels as well for various chat and stuff like that. But you know, there's a lot of like a lot of people are either kind of generalists or very specific to one or two VAs.
Mhm.
And in the Devil of Dublin channel, in the Quiven, myself and a few other people got together, and essentially we came up. It was coming up to Eric's birthday, and we were like, let's do something silly for Eric's birthday, and that ended up being a 12-minute long video where that we it's on the internet. You can watch it if you want.
Oh,
Where
great.
we scripted and animated a full like kind of this is your
Animated.
life.
Oh
Well,
my goodness.
animated in the sense that it's like still images. We did
Okay,
we
okay.
did use AI. This was a while ago, guys. We didn't know. Forgive us. We didn't know. Um, to kind of like to animate this script that was based on the idea that of him being the real devil, and it was death. Basically, the four horsewomen of the apocalypse weren't happy with him because these women kept like dying every week, and it was the same people, and it was a whole big thing. Anyway, it was all very, very stupid. And then we got BB involved, and BB managed to get a bunch of other VAs involved. So we had like a bunch of little like happy birthday messages from his friends at the end of it. And then there's a bloopers
Aw.
reel. It's a whole thing, right? Off the back of that,
It's so
off the back of
funny.
that, I will try and dig it out, and because it's on Instagram. I don't know whose Instagram it's on. I don't know. I can't remember who posted it in the end. But it's about somewhere. Anyway, off the back of that channel, we were doing all of this, managing it, this whole thing, because it was multiple voices. I did the script.
Mhm,
I voiced some of it, and then a couple others people got involved with voicing, and then Steph Stormblessed did the animation stuff
mhm.
and helped with like beta reading. As just basically it was chaos because we were doing this in a single Discord channel. We were managing this whole thing in a
Oh,
single Discord
no.
channel. Absolute chaos. This channel became so insane that essentially we splintered from the Quiven to create the Sinner Sisterhood
Mhm,
Discord, which is still available and around. And so that sort of happened with all of that. In the meantime, I already had some like editing background and stuff like that, and I was like, I could give this narrating. Like I like audiobooks. I like VA
Mhm.
stuff. Like I'm not hearing a lot of femme creators out there. I mean, at this point, I wasn't really on Reddit, so I didn't know like what was out there outside of the kind of. I think I had Quinn and Dipsy at the time, and I was like, I'm
Okay.
just not really hearing like a lot of femme creators. Like
Yeah.
maybe there's a niche to exploit here, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then so I started up doing VA stuff on Reddit. And then from there, I got invited to be part of Undercovers Audio. So I was their like inaugural VA on there, basically.
Cool.
And so we launched Undercovers a
That's really
year
cool.
and a yeah, like nearly 18 months ago now, I think it was.
Wow,
Um,
okay. Yeah,
yeah.
congratulations. Who is all in Undercovers? Like, who is all part of
Oh
it?
my god, there's so many of
So
us
many.
now. I can't like I so it's easier because the whole point with undercovers is again kind of like we're really trying to break out of as much as we can of the kind of already established. So we're mainly platform fem creators specifically,
Okay.
everyone involved pretty much at every point. There have been some collaborations with male VAs,
Mhm,
um, that have been involved along the way, and we've done like special stuff with certain male VAs. But for the most
mhm.
part, in terms of running it and how it's presented, it's entirely, pretty much entirely femme VAs, producers,
That's
writers,
awesome.
yeah, and the idea is to make it a little more equitable, a little bit less of a popularity contest.
Yeah, there's a
Everybody
lot of
gets
that.
paid the same. Yeah,
Mhm,
everybody gets paid the same rate. Everybody gets a chance to sign up for the kind of slots they want to do and things like that.
mhm.
So it's just trying to make it a little bit more and to have the kind of selling point that actually femme voices are being really, really centered um, on that
Yeah,
platform.
that is awesome. So, was this,
Yeah.
before the Sirens of Sin were created?
The sirens. So the sirens came about as kind of a result of when as the um as the moderators on the Sinners Discord,
Mhm.
we were approached to write a script last year for St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
And because because it was like there's a bunch of us, and to kind of make it a little bit simpler than like here's here are all of these names, and because all of us kind of felt quite strongly about it being something that seemed that was like separate from what we were doing in terms of moderation, like we wanted to
Yeah,
be, you know, we wanted it to be something that because we're all creative people in our own right, that beyond this kind of fan thing that we do, which we love doing, but
right.
we wanted this to have that kind of separate like thing,
Mhm.
and it just kind of it made sense to form this kind of writing collective,
Yeah.
or kind of a creative collective. Again, all of us women, um, and you know, with quite with a relatively diverse kind of range between us,
Mhm.
in terms of the things that we like and don't like, and the things that we're kind of skilled in.
Yeah.
Um,
So when an audio
well,
has like written by Sirens of Sin, do you is it something that you all do? Like do you all write the same script or do you each kind of have your own scripts that you're working on?
so we have done both.
Both.
More
Okay.
often than not, yeah, more often than not with the big collaborative scripts, because there's much bigger scope for what goes into a big collaboration script. I mean, like the devil, the uh the collaboration, the first one we did, where is it? The
Mhm.
Devil Inside, was released on David Comerford's channel, but it
Yeah.
was him, it was Eric, and it was The Devil of Dublin, and it was Senan. And
Mhm.
so you've got kind of a lot of moving parts there, and we wrote it very collaboratively. With
Yeah.
more kind of single VA scripts,
Mhm.
we tend to have, and this isn't a hard and fast thing, sometimes we write collaboratively and sometimes we don't, but we tend to have a
Right.
principal writer, and then the other sirens will have, either be editors or beta readers or,
Mhm.
so they come in that capacity. So it's really handy. And again, it's about recognizing that script editing is important as well as writing, as well as
Yeah.
beta reading. And, everybody gets kind of, remunerated accordingly,
Yeah.
for everything that we do.
That is so precious. I absolutely love that. You're just all supporting each other. That's that's
Mm.
adorable. That's really cool too, because it's you're able to get like multiple things done and just in one go. You don't have to reach out to a bunch of other people. You're just a team already. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think it's helpful for the VAs that work with us as well because they know immediately kind of who's engaging with that, because some VAs are more and less comfortable with, people knowing what's kind of coming out ahead of time and things like that. So,
Right. Yeah.
we can present ourselves, and as you guys know, I think there's a trust by association thing that
Mhm.
happens quite a
Right.
lot in this industry. Like, the more people
Absolutely.
will vouch for you,
Yeah.
understandably, the more kind of, trust you're given, and we kind of, can present like a whole package between, from very initial kind of script writing, and stuff like that, all the way through to like final editing and sound editing and stuff like that. So,
Mhm.
we can we can present a whole package, which I think can be, um, desirable for VAs.
Yeah. Very useful.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So I will definitely I want to get all the ladies on here at some point so we could like all talk
My
together.
girls.
But but focusing just on you and your work as well. You are a narrator also, right?
Yes.
What
Yeah.
books have you narrated so far?
So I've narrated, I think I'm just finishing up production on my 5th audiobook. So I started in, um, sort of July last year. And I have done, I did my first book was a nonfiction, kind of like sex therapy, or
Mm,
kind of like, which was an interesting thing to read.
yeah.
Nonfiction is, a lot less work than
Yeah, I'm
fiction,
sure. I'm sure.
um, to narrate.
No
So it was
acting
nice to,
involved.
yeah, it was nice to ease myself in with that, and it was very much kind of aimed at like sexual liberation,
Mhm.
and things like that, which was a nice thing to start with. And then I've
Yeah.
done a couple of romances, both kind of closed door and kind of much spicier stuff. And I'm
Mhm.
just finishing up now, a kind of fantasy called Song of Rona,
Okay.
and it is, yeah, it's part of a trilogy, so we'll see what happens with that. But yes,
That's
Ooh.
that should be
exciting.
coming out very soon. And this one's truly an independent production, which is interesting because,
Uh-huh.
it's we're going to get to put it on the platforms that we want to, rather than, um, being kind of more limited in terms of, Amazon being Amazon,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. I
Right.
get it.
Yeah.
So since you do VA work as well and not just narration, is there like a big divide between the two? Is it hard to switch back and forth?
It's a very different skill set, I think,
Mhm.
personally, because and I mean, it depends. Some authors will ask for more a more kind of, acting approach to the narration, but for
Mhm.
the most part, the things that you want in voice acting, so VA work, the more kind of direct to listener POV kind of style,
Right.
are are different to what you want in the narration. With narration, you because with narration, stuff like that can actually kind of bring you out of it sometimes.
Mhm.
And with narration, it's just your voice. There's nothing to fall back on. There's no sound
Right.
effects. There's no so it's a quite a different skill set in terms of that balance of bringing a character out, but also not making it kind of cartoonish.
Mhm.
Um, Whereas I think with voice acting, with VA work, especially in smut and spicy stuff, you can quite often be a little more over the top. And it's encouraged, I think, to some degree because you really, it is all about emotion and intimacy and bringing those things forward. So you don't want to be static in your voice. You want to have depth and changes and bring all of that
Right.
emotionality into it. That has
Yeah.
a place in narration, but it is presented in a different way. But I think they're just two actually very different skill sets,
Yeah, definitely.
genuinely.
Yeah. So do you for your audio work, do you, write the scripts for like, for you to fill, or do you get them elsewhere?
I've done both.
Okay.
I do really enjoy writing my own scripts,
Mhm.
but it's a time thing, right? It's a
Yeah, yeah.
it's a
It's
real
time
it's a
consuming.
trade-off. Yeah, it's a huge trade-off, because I would say for in terms of actual time, the recording of the voice is probably the smallest, generally speaking, the smallest chunk of time out of the whole
Mhm.
process.
Same.
Because and I've done every part of this process, both
Mhm.
for myself and for other people. Um, so yeah, in terms of I think probably the most amount of time, I wish I was one of these people who could just I mean, I can get scripts out fairly quickly, but I'm not one of those people who can just be like, you know, after an
Yeah.
hour, here's your script,
Yeah.
off you go. I'm I'm too critical
Yeah. You
of
can burn
myself.
out too. Yeah,
Oh, for
I get it.
sure, for sure.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just the other thing is for me, it's quite important that I um, present as diverse a range of kind of experiences as I can, and
Mhm.
so one of the other reasons for me to bring in script writers is to be able to present experiences that I haven't got the kind of cultural or lived expertise to really and
Mhm.
sometimes I can do that by writing the script and then having like sensitivity readers or so there's other ways of doing it, but
Mhm.
one of the ways for me to do it is to get script writers who are um, either represent those dynamics that I or have,
Mhm.
like, lived experiences in that thing and can actually, like, speak to it with more authority than I can.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, Whimsy just released a script also that was very similar to that, where she had like asked a bunch of ladies in the Black community, and love when people take the time to reach out to communities that, that are a part of it and bring that back into their work so that it's more genuine. Even though you may not have done it yourself, you're able to, kind of get into that headspace because you've spoken to people in that community. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. What inspires you as a creator, like in your work in general?
I think sexuality is really important. I think that feminine
Mhm.
sexuality is really important. I think it's,
Absolutely.
uh, joyous and rebellious, and I think it's very important to have, um, femme voices be part of this,
Mhm.
um, industry, because I think one of the reasons that audio erotica stands out to me, and to some extent, audiobooks and romantasy and the kind of the
Mhm.
the different variations of this,
Yeah.
is that it is one of the places where women I in a much less exploitative way than is in more traditional kind of sexual performative sexual outlets.
Mhm.
Women have more agency, I think, in this particular industry,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
than in most. It's not to say that there isn't exploitation, and it's not to say that there isn't, um, an imbalance in some places
Yeah.
and in some
Right.
approaches. But I do think that, for me, it's an expression of sexuality that is very empowering, because I have audios that I literally completed entirely by myself, start to finish.
Wow.
And it's one of the things about UCA is, it's a very, I always find working with women is so much more of a collaborative experience,
Mhm.
uh, than working with men is. And I love all of the boys that I work with, I really do. Um, but there's something very affirming about, in this industry specifically. And another thing was, kind of, as the role that I ended up in the kind of fan spaces, I would hear a lot about what this medium allows people to do, how it allows them to explore their sexuality, it allows them to explore their, um, needs and wants and desires, and gives them even language in some cases to
Mhm.
then, ask for those things and know what those things are. And it's been very powerful for me, because I'm quite lucky in my personal life. I have I'm part of a group of friends who are extremely sexually open. I have a very sexually diverse group of friends.
Mhm.
Um, and I've always kind of been part of quite a sexually diverse set of people. I've always been involved in various, communities around that sort of thing.
Mhm.
And sort of to see this other side of it, where people don't have that in their immediate lives, and this offers that in some small way, I think has been really powerful. Um,
Yeah.
so that was kind of my main motivation going into it, really.
Good. Yeah, that's incredible. Thank you for sharing that. Um, so what would you say is your favorite thing about audio erotica?
Oh, wow. I genuinely, I think it's the people.
Okay.
On pretty much
Yeah.
every level, I think it's the people. I
Yeah.
have met some of my best friends through this whole nonsense. Um,
Mhm.
I have had some of the most incredible, insane experiences, um, through the people and the circumstances that I have ended up in because of this crazy community.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it has to be the people.
Yeah, a lot of everybody in here has been absolutely just so friendly and welcoming. It's been so fun to
Yeah.
meet everyone, especially doing this podcast. It's been so fun, like meeting all these creative people. Because I mean, I'm an artist myself, so of course, talking to all of these creative people is just it's so inspiring to me. I'm like, yeah, I get to talk to a bunch of awesome people. And yeah, no, anyway.
It's so it's so fun when, like, your day job is something that's not so creative.
Mhm.
It's really affirming to talk to other people who kind of get energy and are fulfilled creatively,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
I
Right.
think.
So, circling back to a little more like behind the scenes, what kind of equipment and software do you use for editing and recording?
So I have both a, desktop PC with a quite a powerful. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but because it was originally my gaming PC,
Mhm.
so it's got a fairly powerful setup. And then in terms of actual recording equipment, I have an NT1 Rode NT1 Signature mic, and I have a Focusrite 212 interface that goes into, and
Mhm.
my uh, Audio Technica. I think they're 80s, maybe M20s. I don't know. Audio
Mhm.
Technica cans. Um, and then in terms of software, I have a bunch of different programs I use. I started with Audacity. Um,
Mhm.
I have kind of fallen into, and I hate it because it loses my work on a regular basis.
Oh, no.
Um,
No.
yeah, sorry. I literally had like 4 hours of work wiped out in the last 24 hours, so this
Oh
is a
my
little bit fresh
gosh.
for me.
Yeah. Oh,
But
no.
Audition. So and it's one of those things where I'm like, "Oh," every time I think about I'm like, "Okay, it's happened again. You need to get rid of Audition. You need to come up with an alternative."
Throw it away,
And
yeah.
then I'm like, but the learning curve and all of my plugins and
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm just like, yeah, but if you're losing, 8 hours of work a month because this stupid program just crashes out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, and then I use a bunch of different sound effects databases. I make quite a lot of my own sound effects where possible. I just got someone very kindly, some friends of mine very kindly bought off my throne some very cool Rode. I don't know what version this is, but the little Rode lav mics.
Mhm.
So I
Ooh,
can
yeah,
make.
those are cool.
They're so cool. They're my favorite little toy.
Oh,
But
okay. So do you make sound effects live?
yeah, quite a lot of the time I prefer to make my own sound effects because I'm a big I'm a big proponent of real sound effects where possible.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time that means going and finding real sound effects because like there's only so many kind of, you know, jazz bars I can surreptitiously record
Yeah.
audio in and things like that. You know what I mean? And sometimes I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, this audio is set in the 1920s in New Orleans, so like, I don't think
Yeah.
I've got, I
Can't
don't
really
think
go
I've got
there.
ambient for this. Yeah, I've already got ambient for this right now. But so yeah, so there's a line. But I think particularly with the sexy sounds,
Mm.
there is first of all, one of the things I hate the most when I listen to audios is when I clock that a sound is the same sound, like repeated
Over
over
and
and over
over. Yeah.
again. As soon as I
Yeah.
hear that, I'm like, no, I'm out. We're done here.
Nope.
Um,
Oh.
so uh, I like to try and create audio effects that are as naturalistic as possible, and that means that they don't always sound incredibly clean or they don't always sound incredibly because in real life sound doesn't work like that.
Mhm.
Right.
um so yeah. uh
Well, I'll definitely go into detail because I wanna know what it's like creating your own sound effects because that's so cool. A lot of people just source, so I would definitely love to hear more about that. But it is time for the first round of the game. Are
oh my
you
god,
ready? All
absolutely
right.
not.
I don't even know what this is.
I know. All right. So, Brewy, I told her this earlier, but I am going to give you audios that you have written, and I want you to describe the
Oh
plot of the
god.
audio like you are narrating a movie trailer.
Now I have to remember my audios. This is terrible.
Now you have to think.
Yeah. Come on, ADHD brain, you can do it. I
So,
can't wait.
round one.
Oh, I know this one. Okay, this one was really fun. Um, so I'm not much of an M sub girly.
Mhm.
Um, but oh God, how would a trailer for this go? Um, I don't actually remember. I don't even remember what happens in this one. I just know Eric gets on his knees. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go for the like. Has this ever happened to you? The man of your dreams promised again and again he would always be there for you on a Friday, and suddenly he's gone, disappeared for weeks, not a peep. Well, he's back, and he's got some making up to do, and he shall do it on his knees.
That's great. That is great. I
Perfect.
love it. Oh, I'm so excited for the rest of these. Okay. Okay. Do we want to do one more? Do we want to circle back to questions? How are you feeling?
I don't mind. We can do another one. I'll try and do it
Okay,
actual
okay.
movie trailer style this time.
Okay. It's whatever you're feeling. Any sort of commercial, any promotional. You got it.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Oh wow.
This
Seriously.
is gonna be so hard to do. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
It was in your playlist, okay? I had to include it.
No, it's fair. It's fair. This one. Oh wow. This one was so good. This one actually like is legitimately cinematic, so it kind
It
of makes
is.
sense that it would have
Mhm.
a movie trailer.
See, best
Um,
friends.
they used to be best friends. One is
They used to
one's
be
the
best
devil and one's the king of hell. And then you came along.
Two dudes chilling in a hot tub, 5 feet apart because they're not.
What was the actual trailer I did for this?
You're just
Oh,
finding the trailer.
it's just lava and it's just suggestive like erupting lava.
Is that your lava erupting, or are you just happy to see me?
So I guess it's like when the devil tries to punish, but the king of hell. Oh, where am I even going with this?
That was great. Find out next time.
So I'm trying to like actually keep the like vaguely the vibe of the actual, because that's the whole thing, is he tries to like punish you by sending you off to Asmodeus, and then Asmodeus is like, hello, I'm horny, who are you?
Hi, honey, I'm down. Nice to meet you.
So it's like when the devil tries to punish you, but the prince of hell has other ideas. Have a fun time with Asmodeus. But when the devil finds out, oh, someone's in for a pounding.
There you go. See? You did it. You did it.
Sure.
So proud of you. That was great.
So how did you learn about audio engineering?
I think so. I've kind of done bits and pieces of audio engineering on and off for a really long time. When I was a lot younger, I used to do um I used to do like fan edits of stuff and like set them to music and like sort of like fan music videos and stuff like that. So to do that, you need to kind of have the basics of video editing and audio editing, and that was like, we're talking like 15 years ago. So the software that was available to me was not what it currently is. So it was a lot more complicated to do. And then I've had various podcasts and been involved in various voice acting things on and off over the years. So I've kind of kept a kind of rough skill set in this area for a while. And then I started VAing myself, and it's like, you know, when you're starting out and you're not making any money, it like you basically have to you have to engineer for yourself. And because sound is something that is
Right.
so important to me in it, like when as a like listener, it was something I immediately wanted to kind of get good at, and was something it was important to me to produce good quality sound as part of like from the start, which is absolutely zero shade to anyone who is brave enough to start with just like their phone and a ramble kind of thing. Like, like I was saying earlier, when it's just your voice, in some ways it's way scarier because there's a lot less to like hide behind and stuff like that. So
Right.
that is
Mhm.
that is a skill set all in of its own, and improv, as we've just found out, is a full skill set all in of itself. So
Mhm.
um so yeah.
How do you interact with the VAs who commission you? Do you learn everyone's styles?
um So it's a give and take thing with VAs. I think there's and I think it's the same with kind of script writing and things like that. There is I don't want to copy anyone and I don't want to plagiarize anyone. And I think for the most part, um I will listen to a few audios to get an idea of the VA's voice and how they approach uh, their audio. Some VAs, so point of view is quite an interesting one in audio. A lot of VAs on Quinn have the point of view as from themselves, but not everybody does. And so some people do the point of view from the sound as if it's the listener's point of view, and the approaches are quite different to each.
Right.
And I suspect most of the audience don't know the difference. So I like to get an idea of where people are approaching and just talking about it a lot of the time. And it does tend to be a bit trial and error. Just like listeners, some VAs are more exacting with their
Right.
requirements for sound than others. So yeah, everybody's a bit different.
Definitely sounds like it's kind of almost like a puzzle. Because you want to match their
Yeah, I
vibe,
mean,
but you also
it's
kind of want to put your spin on it, your touch on it.
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. And I think it's the same with writing, with script writing to a certain extent. But I don't think any of us ever go in wanting to plagiarize, and we also want our own voices to come through. And so, I approach the sound side of things in a very similar way. I don't want it to sound like I want it to sound good. I don't want it to sound like anybody else's approach necessarily. And there are some things that I personally like that other people might not like, and there are some things that I personally like to do that I don't like to do that other people might like. Um, so like listener sounds is always a controversial one. And to some extent, it depends where you're posting as well, because the expectations of what is being produced can be very different if it's going on someone's private Patreon versus going on Quinn versus going on Reddit.
Absolutely.
Like there are different expectations from each audience there. So
Yeah,
there's
that's
there's
true.
an there's also that to juggle. It's a whole big thing.
So since you've kind of done every different kind of piece of making audio erotica, from writing to voicing to editing, what is your favorite thing to do?
Um I think it's writing, but I also really love voicing specifically collaborations. I specifically enjoy being in like audio plays and things like that. Um, I think the only reason I don't like the editing the most is because although it is still very creative, it's the least creative part of the process because you're constrained to what the script is and what the voice already is.
Right.
So it's much more technical, and you have a lot less freedom with um, with the editing. Um, so I think that's the only reason that it's like it's not as in terms of like if I had a choice of what I was doing, um, then yeah, probably the writing is my favorite thing.
Okay. So we've already talked about sourcing and creating your own SFX. But how do you personally like to immerse the listener?
I think for me it's about getting sounds that really sound realistic. And the crazy thing about sound production or soundscaping is that for things to sound realistic, they're not necessarily the way the thing sounds in real life because our
Right.
brains through like movies and media and radio and things like that, our brains have certain expectations of sound effects versus what things actually sound like in real life.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of the things, if they sounded in real life the way they sound in an audio, you would think something was horribly wrong.
It would be gross.
It would be super gross. And I mean,
Yeah.
that's another aspect of it, right, as well, is like, so the point of view thing with audios is really interesting because, um, a lot of the time you're a lot of the time you're making sounds for things where that in real life would kind of be too far away that if they
Right. You
sounded
wouldn't really
that
hear them.
audible to you, yeah, you wouldn't really hear them, and if you did, you'd be maybe questioning what was going on.
Right.
But it's about, like, it's about what we expect, so it's that balance between what you expect to hear there in the audio, in you know, everybody kind of subconsciously knows what a door in a movie sounds like. Most doors in real life
Right.
don't make much sound when you open them and close them
Yeah.
beyond the actual closing and, you know, the latch opening, but actually, like, the sound of the door swinging, most doors don't make noises. And if they do, that's a bad thing. That's, you know, in real life, most of us would, like, you know, get that sorted out, unless you live in,
Fix
like,
that.
an actual haunted mansion. Yeah, exactly. Um and then the other aspect of that is so, like, wet noises are really subjective, right? And
Yeah.
something that could completely gross someone out for the next person is gonna be the sexiest thing they've ever heard. And
Right.
it's that I tend to go for I think I tend to go for a more subtle production, um, because in my the way I try and do it, you almost shouldn't notice that there's sound production.
Mhm.
It is there to immerse. So if you notice it with some with a few exceptions, like, um, if there's something if there's something sudden that happens, like a spank that you're not expecting or something like that,
Right.
if the reaction that you want out of the listener is, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that," then you've got a bit more license to make it, like, a bit louder or a bit more sudden or a bit harsher. But if it's to immerse you in what is happening, then it should in my opinion, the idea is that it should almost be not noticeable in the sense of not audible, but not noticeable in the sense of you're not thinking about the sound itself. You're listening to the story and the sound is there to build that picture for you.
Right.
Um,
It's to pull you into what's happening versus to like pull your focus.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you
Um,
record your sound effects?
Various different ways. Like I say, I've got this cool little lavalier mic now that's super portable, so that's made life a lot easier. I used to do a lot of like stuff on my phone.
Mhm.
So things like ambient sounds I really like when I'm like out and about. If I'm like at an airport or if I'm in a bar or something like that, I'm that nerd that will like get my phone out and like record like a couple of minutes of ambient sound.
Mhm.
I'd love to
That's
invest
cool.
in some really cool like good um like ambient mics and stuff like that.
So when you're
But yeah,
editing,
other
how do
than
you edit character distance, like from like close up to the mic versus further away, things like that?
so there's a couple of ways of doing it. If you're talking about so you can do it with like the volume of the room. So you can kind of make the room bigger. You can use reverb and things like that to make like the room bigger and smaller. So like if they're outside, you're gonna put like effects on stuff. And then in terms of actual character distance, again, it very much depends on what the what the camera, if you like, POV is. Um, the other ways to do it is volume. So if you're doing like the listener as the main point of reference, then as the VA is moving around, you can, as sound would normally work, you would be quieter if you're further away. You might be a little less clear if you're further away. Another trick you can use, although it's a little bit of a it doesn't always work because if people are listening on like phone speakers and things like that, it just won't work. Is like the channels. So if you've got stereo channel, you've got a right and left. So you can pan the voice so that you're kind of indicating movement by panning the voice into the right ear or the left ear. And things like that. But the problem with that is people have to be listening on the right equipment and then have to have the right settings on their phone set up. So it's a little
Right.
bit of a it's a little bit of a difficult one. But that is a more traditional way of doing it. But yeah, with distance mainly with things like Quinn, just because it's something you can control completely on any device. It's
Mhm.
it's it's its volume is the main thing to do.
Yeah,
Um
you broke minds with your your piercing sound effect. Everyone was thinking that you used all different like sorts of things, but you just used your piercing, and everyone was so confused.
That was so funny. That was such a funny but this is my point, like, this is the thing, I was like, "No, no, guys, it's just the closest thing to the actual thing that is being, discussed here." Like, I didn't unfortunately, didn't have one of those exact things to hand, but, I mean, to be fair, if I'd had a little bit more time, I probably could have tracked down someone with a relevant piercing to get me the sound effect,
Looking
but
for you real quick.
Come here, buddy.
yeah, yeah. Hey, my friends are so used to getting weird, like, questions, queries. Most of them have consulted on scripts at some point. Like, I literally not that long ago put in a group chat, "Does anybody mind being consulted on pegging?" And so yeah, like I say, I'm really lucky that I've got a really open, like sexually open group of friends,
Yeah.
like in real life to kind of consult on these matters. Um, so yeah. So I probably could have found someone, but yeah, it seemed like this would do. This would be reasonable.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't sound like a piercing. It sounded like it was like a ding almost, like you had a little bell, like ding, like It was,
That's
yeah.
As somebody who used to have a septum ring, I clocked it immediately.
Of course you did. Everybody was like, I don't know, you made a piercing sound so, like, crispy. It was like nobody, like, knew what it was. Oh gosh.
That was really fun. That was really fun. That was such a
Yeah,
fun.
I'm sure you're having a great time with everybody's guesses.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I love like any chance to work with Dina. I'm like over the moon
Mhm.
about. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely fun shenanigans as well on top of everything. Just icing on the
Dina's
cake.
so fun.
I love Dina.
All right. It's round 2, but this time
Oh no.
I've been writing. I've been writing.
Oh, I can't wait. I
Now
can't
you
wait.
just have to read it.
I've been writing this whole time.
This is amazing. I love this. This is a way better tagline than we had. Oh, I love this audio so much, and it doesn't get its due, this audio. This is the one that of all of my audios that have ever been involved with, I think that gets that doesn't get its due. It is so good. Davey did such a good job with the sound
I
on
thought it was
this.
adorable. I was like, "Oh my
It's
god."
so much fun, and then the sexy part is it's so Davey because it's so goofy and sweet and funny, and I really like this one. Breaks my heart a bit, genuinely, but I do love this audio. So big shout out to Friday the 13th Part 2, Bad Luck Bondage. An unlucky Irishman goes from stealing diamonds to stealing your girl. Then karma flips the script from dominating to dominatrix.
It was so good.
See, reading I can do.
I
I
should
get paid to do that professionally.
Well, my bad. I asked you first.
No, you totally did. Entirely my bad. No, 1000% my bad.
Okay. Next one.
Whiskey Sour. This new audio will snatch your thong like the Devil of Dublin might snatch your heart in this new brat taming audio.
Amazing.
Okay. We'll do one more.
Highland Fling. You'll enthusiastically consent to this dashing devil. Your boyfriend sucks, so try a Highland Irishman.
Do you have any strange way of making your sound effects? I want to hear all the details. I want to hear the plap noises. Give me all the tea. I want to know. I need to know how the sausage gets made. Okay.
This is where we get weird.
Okay, I mean, okay, if you ruin my career,
No,
it's all
I
good.
won't tell anyone.
Yeah, just the entire audience of this podcast. It's all good.
It's fine.
Okay. So I have a real love-hate relationship with wet noises. Because I with the best will in the world. Wet noises in real life are not that wet, if you see what I mean.
Right.
But I understand the need for them because they're indicators of what's happening and stuff like that, and like some
Right.
people are into them. I make a different set of plaps and wet noises for every audio that I plap or wet noise. Oh God, what a conversation. And my favorite way with wet noises is to get it's always some combination of lube, moisturizer, and soap. And it's the reason for that is a consistency thing. Lube by itself is too lubey, basically, and it doesn't actually make here's the thing, right? To make sound, you need friction.
Mhm.
And lube, the whole point of lube is to eliminate
To
friction.
eliminate friction.
Mhm.
Exactly. So lube by itself both doesn't produce a lot of sound, and also the sounds that it does produce tend to be very like crackly because
Mhm.
it's trapped air basically.
Mhm.
So you need something to like thicken the consistency of the lube. So then you bring moisturizer in, but that kind of goes too far the other way. So what I find is that soap lather, specifically like hand soap, not like gel or anything like that, actual bar soap
Mhm.
lather. Once you get past the initial phase where it's very like foamy and you can hear that it's foamy and it kind of gets thick,
Mhm.
that's the sweet spot. And then you use the lube and the moisturizer to kind of like give it the give it the lifespan because it absorbs very quickly. So you need it like something that's designed to like stick around a little bit longer.
Right.
Um and then you can like add oil, like massage oil is a good one to add in if it's like getting a little bit too thick or so
Mhm.
yeah, it's just a ratio of those different have genuinely have a drawer full of like lotions and potions.
Lotions and
That
potions.
Yeah. So I I've started at Christmas, invariably you always end up getting like someone gives you a 3-pack of hand cream or something at some point because they don't, you get some secret Santa's like I had like a 5 quid limit. I didn't know what to get you. Here, have something, have hand cream. I don't know. You're a woman. You have hands. It's fine.
Right.
You have
You have
skin,
hands.
right?
Works.
There you go. Could be worse. I could have got you a candle, So yeah, it's basically the drawer is full of like variations of like birthday multi-pack gifts of like various body lotions and things like that. So and then Plap noises again, it kind of depends like what the audio calls for. Some of them you want them kind of a little bit more muffled. If
Mhm.
there's like clothing involved and things like that, or depending on the POV or like where you are, like
Mhm.
situationally.
I want to be reborn as a fly on the wall, so I could just watch you
When I
watch you make all
But
of
here's the
these.
thing, right? But here's the thing, like when I tell you that it's literally like the least sexy, the creation, the
I know that's
creation of
why.
sex noises is literally the least sexy thing you will ever witness,
That's why.
possibly with the exception of the actual VA process, which is like
Yeah.
someone aggressively unsexily gurning into a microphone like too close for for like
So
an hour at a time.
so you get this mixture, and you're just using your hands like
Yeah, it's kind of trying to simulate as much as possible the actual
right.
whatever action is happening, trying to kind of simulate that. Although again, a lot of those actions shouldn't really be creating that much, certainly sound that should travel beyond
Mhm.
the the area in which they are happening.
Yeah.
Um so it's yeah. So again, it's that balance of like not sounding like you're going way too hard, but like I really don't like sounds that like you can tell if someone's stirring macaroni, you know what I mean? Um
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the vast and I could be wrong, but I genuinely think the vast majority of listeners are not engaging with it on that kind of level. Like the Plaps conversation I think was a kind of testament to this. I think for the people that sound is important to, it's really important.
Mhm.
And for everybody else,
Right.
they're just like, we don't like, we get it. We don't really care. We're here for the sexy voices. We don't really care what else is going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, unless it's something like egregiously bad, Yeah, and there's not like really an audio erotica handbook. There's no one like
Exactly.
there's no one like being like, and this is the industry standard. It's the industry standard is wing it, you'll be fine.
Wing
You
it.
know what I mean? You'll be fine. It'll be fine. And if it's not, no
Oh.
one will listen to you. It'll be fine.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So, out of the audios that you have edited or created yourself, do you have a favorite? You have a favorite child?
Um I think the first is always special. So Devil Inside will always be special because
Yeah.
you know that just that I mean, first of all, getting to work with the people that I got to work with on that,
Mhm.
both the VAs and my very good friends, and doing this thing collaboratively, which was, you know, something that we all put a lot of time and effort, and you know, we'd obviously done a few collaborative projects before through like running the Discord and things like that, and putting projects together where, you know, for people to engage with that. But this was
Mhm.
something that was kind of external to that, and was really kind of like um, validating us as creators as much as anything else, which I think is always really um, and I any opportunity to work with Davey, honestly,
Mhm.
I'm always up for. He's such a gracious person to work with, um,
Yeah.
and he always puts like so much of himself into everything he does.
That's awesome.
So it was really cool to work with Davey on that one.
Yeah.
Um,
We're gonna get him on the show too at some point. There's so many people. There's it's just a matter of trying to get people because I'm like, will you respond to me? No? Okay, moving on.
and honestly, I just, you know, if you don't get a response, don't be like, oh, I emailed you a week ago, hi. But just try again in a couple months, and like, because, you know, people are busy, inboxes are full, kind of thing. I mean,
Yeah.
we
Right.
both at points in getting here, I think, forgot this was happening in various ways. Like, I didn't respond to you, you didn't respond, and it's just, yeah, because we're all busy. Most of us doing this as second or third jobs.
Yeah,
Um,
Right.
so,
definitely.
you know, and then like with a lot of creative stuff, you've got to be your own admin person, you've got to be your own HR person, you've got to be your own social media manager. Like, you know,
Ugh,
it's
yeah.
you guys get it.
It's a lot. Yeah.
So there's a lot going on, and you know, a lot of us are doing it around full day jobs and families, and you know, real life commitments as well. So it's yeah, most of us are just here for the love of it, which is kind of crazy, but here we
Mhm.
all are.
Yep. Into the thick of it. Yep. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so what do you think good quality sound editing helps like do to immerse the listener?
Again, I think it's those I think they're subconscious cues for the most part. At least that's how I try and kind of edit. And getting really into sound editing kind of almost ruined audios for me, because
Really? Yeah.
because I very often now am, instead of being like, "Oh, that's super sexy," I'll be like, how did he make that noise? I really want to know. I would like to make that noise. I wonder how he. I bet he made that noise like this. Um, and so, and my brain, but and this is kind of my point about, like, for me, good sound editing should not be noticeable. It should be so integrated into the story that it is not, your brain doesn't pick it out separately.
Mhm.
I've trained myself to do that because I kind of have to know these things, right? But that's my kind of thing. For me, it's just that extra layer of immersion, and I understand why um, there are people that just don't like sound effects at all, because it's such a subjective thing. Um, I have not quite complete, but I have almost total aphantasia, so I don't see pictures in my brain when I think. Um, I know a lot of people do, and so I I think when something jars against what you're expecting to hear or what you're like, I can't even remember what audio it was, but I remember listening to an audio, and it was the first time I'd heard someone produce listener sound effects. Not like footsteps and stuff, but like sexy listener sound effects. And
That's
it was
interesting.
so unexpected
Yeah.
that I was like, "Whoa, what who oh, there's another person," and that because then
Right.
your brain
Who
interpret
are you?
it's like, "Oh, what is
Wait,
was
that's
this
not
an
me.
overheard? Did I miss the did I miss the tags here? Because you've not said anything so far." Um, I think it was like a blowjob or something, and suddenly there was, like, blowjob noises, and I was like, "Oh, that's not normally how we do things around here. What's going on?" And it pulled me so aggressively out of the audio that I just stopped playing.
Yeah.
I just didn't I couldn't listen to the rest of it because I was like, "Well, I'm so outside of I'm so aware now that this is a thing that I am listening to, not a thing that I am participating in," because I think that's what audio
Right.
erotica very often is trying to do, and where we get into maybe some of the more problematic stuff. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, for me, it really is that kind of just extra underpinning of immersion. And sometimes it does a little bit of lifting for the story as well, because, you know, you can imply, like, if the characters are in a bar, the size of the audience noise that you choose can completely change, like, the venue that you're in,
Mhm.
mentally speaking. So, like, the number of people that are in that venue, or, um so there's or, like, even the size of the room that you're in and things like that, or if you're outside, like, is it a cold, desolate moorland, or is it a, like, lovely, sandy,
Yeah.
warm beach? Like, it's completely different, depending, and that you can do that entirely just through the sound. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why I like to hear from the sound editors because it's such a different process than it is just for the VAs. Like the VAs just sit down, and of course they're usually amazing actors, and so they're super talented. But I feel like it's definitely up to the sound editors to really make it what it is. Because without the sound editors, I mean you can break immersion. Like you just don't really have anything. You don't have much of a story or
For
like a
sure.
setting. So yeah, I like hearing the different perspectives. It's so cool to me.
And,
But
I think something that, a lot of the script writer whereas the VAs at least have an understanding of recording and sound and that sort of thing, quite a lot of the time, the script writers, particularly script writers that are coming from a more kind of narrative background,
Mhm.
um, there's quite a lot of scripts that I've read that have almost no sound direction in them. You kind of just having to, like, infer where the
Yeah,
sound goes, which is really cool because it gives me a lot of license to do what I think, how I think it should sound, but also can be a little bit like, I don't know I hope you like what I did here. I
yeah.
made some executive decisions. I hope you like what I did.
Do you have a preference? Like, do you prefer it be on the script so you have some sort of direction, or do you prefer to just kind of do it yourself?
Um, I think if I had a it really depends, because sometimes it's better that it's not there if people don't really have an understanding of how, like, what is realistic to portray in sound.
Mhm.
Something that I've found that has happened, and again, it's what I mean about, like, people that seem to be coming from a slightly more narrative background, in
Mhm.
terms of their writing. They will add context into the sound effects that just you can't easily portray. because for a sound to be in
Yeah.
an audio, it has to be immediately recognizable as to what it is. Otherwise, once
Right.
again, you risk someone going, "What the hell was that?" And immersion is
What
broken
just happened?
immediately. As soon as you're
Yeah.
asking, what the hell just happened? What the hell is going on?" Your immersion is broken.
Yeah.
And, it can be the sexiest voice on the planet, but if that moment happens, you really genuinely risk someone just switching off. And that for me is like the worst possible thing.
Do you have a nope sound that breaks the immersion for you?
I think overzealous wet noises are my
Okay,
thing,
yeah.
where I'm just like
Yeah.
it's less nope and more why does it sound like.
Fishing around in a bucket.
Yeah, it's like, yep, you stir that macaroni. I don't know why it's down there, but
Are we taking a break for a snack? What's happening?
Yeah. I mean, great. I'm super down for that, but
Right.
we were in the middle of something here.
Atlas made a joke about using meatballs once, and I was like, "No, no."
Why?
I
Why?
was
Why
like,
is he like
"I'm never."
this?
Why is he like this? What was your most challenging project?
Summoning Heat, the James Joseph Devil of Dublin collab that
Oh, okay.
is written by E Star.
Mhm.
Amazing collab to do, but just a very because it's outside, there's a lot of ambient sound happening.
Mhm.
There's a lot of like mystical, magical, ritual kind of stuff happening. So
Yeah.
um that one was, and then matching the voices, together because they have very different, audio recording setups,
Yeah.
the 2 VAs. So
Mhm.
trying to match those voices together and make them sound cohesive and sound like they are outside in this very open space, and all of this stuff's
Yeah.
going on, and there's, like, stone circles, so you've gotta have, like,
That's so
kind of the
cool.
sound of that happening. Yeah, it was a really cool thing to be a part of, and I'm super like I was super stoked to do it, but it was a it was a big project, that one.
Yeah.
Um,
What was it called again? I'm writing it down so I could go back.
Summoning Heat. So there's 2 of them. There's the first one, is I think just called Summoning Heat, and this one is called Summoning Heat: The Samhain Ritual.
Mhm. Okay, I got both of them. Yeah, I'm curious. I love when people put like extra work into like it's not just straight smut. It's like there's a story and there's production and all of it. I think it's so fun when people put
This
in
one
like there's
is
magic and all sorts of stuff.
crazy cinematic as well. So
Mm,
so yeah, it was first of all, it's just it's a quite a long audio.
mm,
And so to try and keep that thing that I particularly like, which is believable ambiance and things like that, where you're not getting like
mhm.
repeating sounds and things like that, I had to find and create quite a lot of very
Yeah,
long kind of soundscaping
yeah.
um, beds and things like that. So it's like 45-minute long audio, and then it's
That's
cutting
so
the 2
cool.
voices together. Yeah, it was just a big project with a lot of
Yeah, I'm
moving
sure it took a
parts.
while.
And yeah, I think that one's probably the most complicated one. I've actually just done it's not out yet, but I've just done a really cool collab. Just produced a really cool collab for Julius, as part of
Ooh, okay.
his
I love
Blackout
Julius.
series.
We
I
have
love him
yeah,
so much.
we have Julius next week actually.
Amazing. I love working with Julie. I know I keep saying this. I genuinely love working with everyone that I've worked with. I've been really, really lucky. Everyone that I've worked with has been amazing. Um, but yeah, I obviously I work with Julius fairly regularly, and yeah, he's just super fun. He has such an interesting approach to this, and he has such fun ideas. And yeah,
Yeah,
so I've just produced a big collab for him,
that's
for his
exciting.
Blackout series, which is going to be
Mm.
yeah, I'm really stoked to see that one, to see the reception to that one, because it's a little bit different for all of us, a little bit little bit unusual. I think it
I'm
might be the
intrigued.
first safe for work that I've done on Quinn. I don't
Oh,
think I've
really?
done a safe for work before. I've done my own safe for works,
Mm.
but I think this is the first one I've produced for someone else.
Well, that brings us to the very last round of the game. Are we ready?
Amazing. Yeah. X Club putting on a show. This audio will put you in a chokehold or in the devil's lap. Standing ovation turns into sitting ovulation.
Oh my god.
That's such a good tagline. I love that so much.
I feel like I need to become a writer or something. I don't know.
1000%.
Last one.
Oh, I love this audio.
Sorry, I
Late.
ruined it.
No, sorry, you did not ruin it. Sorry, I read ahead on this one. I should. Late night performance review. Boss's wife turned desk pet in this brilliant new audio. Professional nipples give James Joseph a promotion from office clerk to side piece. Amazing. Amazing.
Oh my gosh. What did I do this one? Oh, I did do this one. Let's go. Okay, we got one more.
Okay. Oh, this one's sweet too. Mine by midnight. Julius King will make you see fireworks in this new audio. Close proximity turned clitoris stimulation in this new classic. There we go.
Okay. We have some submitted questions.
Our first listener question is from Susanna Kincaid. She said, "Hi Neon, what was your most challenging sound effects you had to recreate?" It's a popular question.
Love Suze. Um, like single sound effect? I don't know. I get really bogged down in making sure things are again, making sure things are appropriate. So I produced something for Julius that was set, I think, in the 1920s. And then, but then there's car sound effects. So I had to go and find period appropriate car engine noises.
Oh
And
gosh.
yeah, it was a challenge. It was fun though. So yeah, that one was probably the most difficult one because I kind of like set myself up for failure because I was like, no, this must be period appropriate. Joe, no one's going to care at all. Like literally no one will doubt, but I had decided.
Right, but
So,
it's also
but
something you
it's,
can't just like go do the thing.
yeah, I mean, I don't have a 1920s classic car on hand.
Our next question is from Chanel. She writes, as she always does.
Mm.
Hello, Neon Rose. I want to say that you are truly amazing with your editing and love every single one of your audios that you've helped out on. You are truly amazing in this community, and I want you to know it. Never give up, Queen. Here's my question to you. What's your editing superpower? Fixing messy audio, crafting atmosphere, or something else?
Oh, editing superpower. I think I'm really nitpicky with voice sounds.
Mm.
Like, I will strip anything that is, like, a mouth noise or, like, if it's not supposed to be there, I will get rid I will go in with, there's, like, literally a repair tool that you can use that can pinpoint, in the, like, sound wave
Mm.
spectrum, and you can, like, almost use it like a paint tool to, like, isolate a noise and pull it out. So I'm really nitpicky with that sort of stuff. So I think that's probably yeah, cleaning up messy vocal audio is probably my just because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, I heard it now, I can't unhear it. It must die. I must kill it." So yeah,
I must
that's
kill it.
probably my and, like,
Nice.
if someone flubs something, taking like, doing edits of, like, uh a word and taking that word from like a different part in the audio and putting it, like inserting it over, because pickups are great, but they don't always work out depending on how people record them.
Right.
So sometimes it's easier. Sometimes it's more coherent in the audio to take a word that's used elsewhere that's like, but that's like the room tone is the same and all of the ambient is the same, than
Mm.
it is to get someone to do a pick. Because if the VA like recorded first thing in the morning and they had really deep voice, and then, you know, when they're doing their pickups, it's like mid-afternoon and they're a bit sleepy after lunch or whatever, it can be a
Mm.
completely different voice that you're working with. Um,
Yeah.
This one's from Alex. They said, "Hi, I'm always curious about what narrators are bringing to life lately. Is there any recent or upcoming project that you're excited about?"
Yeah, I've got a couple of things. So I've got that Song of Rona that I mentioned earlier. That is right at the end of its production cycle now, so should be available. The first book should be available shortly. We're not entirely certain yet what platforms it's going to be released on, but do keep an
Mm.
eye on my socials because I will be promoting it aggressively. Um, it is written by a very good friend of mine, Svazova, and I just really love the characters and the world that they've built. So yeah, between us, I'm sure we'll be uh, all over everybody's social media ad nauseum as soon as that's ready for release. And the other thing that I'm very shortly going to be involved with is I have written a number of scripts and also will be narrating for the Cupids and Cubicles collab
Yes, I'm so
that
excited.
Yes.
is coming out. Yeah, so I've done a bunch of scripts, so I wrote a bunch of scripts, but also I will be I have a narrative that I'm going to be doing a kind of like soundscaped narrative. I don't know how it's going to go down. It's a little bit of an experiment. So it's not POV, but it will have sound effects as well
Yeah.
as being a narrative, and we'll see enhanced narrative, I think they call it in the audiobook world.
Mm.
But we will yeah, we will see.
Thank you so much for giving us your time today. I appreciate it, and thank you for working with us because the snow was not in our favor. They suck. Um, but I really hope you had a good time. We love doing this. It's such a highlight of our week when we get to interview people. So yeah, just thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been so much fun. I love talking
Yeah,
about
of
this stuff.
course.
As you've found out, I will literally talk about this stuff forever. So
It's all right. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. And
thank
as
you so
always,
much.
to our listeners, you guys can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all of the things. Next week we are going to have episode 14 with Julius King. That episode will be called King of the Plaps, and we are so excited to have him. Bye everyone.
Bye.